Hello and welcome to Virtual Art. Invader Zim is a cartoon created by John Vasquez and that was launched by the first time in Nickelodeon by 2001. It narrates the adventures of an alien of the Urkan Empire that always ruins the attempts of this empire to conquer the universe. So the leaders of this empire send him to the Earth, so he just entertains himself trying to conquer the humans so that he can continue their plans without any more interruptions. This is a cartoon that I really like to watch in my childhood, and it is especially interesting because usually we see the protagonists, the main characters of the series or cartoons or movies are characters that we can identify with, but Sim isn't empathic at all. And he never shows not even a little glimpse of humanity or kindness. However, this character works and is quite funny. For this project I have selected G.I.R, which is one of my favorite characters, and results to be Invader Zim's robot assistant. So to get started, I have recollected some reference images as much for G.I.R and for the Invader Zim's house, which is going to be the scene for this project, which are the images that I'm showing right now, and also previous proposals of how to create G.I.R as a 3D object. So one of the first things that I had to think is how are going to be the joints, because the joints aren't very well represented in the cartoon. And another thing that I had to see is what were going to be those colorful parts of the robot. So I thought that it could be some glass recipients where are going to be filled with a liquid that is going to keep cool the inner components of the robot. So I just created those glass parts with a volumetric material in there. For the eyes, I created a glass lens. In there I created a whole plate, and in there a light that will project a circular light into the glass lens, so it will emulate the iris. The house was fully modeled in 3D Studio Max. The garden gnomes were modeled in ZBrush, and they are transferred to Topogun to do the red topology. We can see here that the topology follows the geometry of the object, while in ZBrush the topology doesn't help us to keep that detail. After that, the object was transferred to Substance Painter. Let's take into consideration that the house of Invader Zim is actually his spaceship, so it's a metallic object. So I have decided that all components of the house will be made of metal in the inside, and just painted to camouflage or to emulate to be a normal house, a normal object. So that's what I did with a gnome. And to G.I.R, I didn't want to make him so perfect, so I made some scratches into his lens eyes, into the glass parts, and also some dirtiness, and the same I did with the metallic parts. With the house, I followed a similar process that I followed by painting the gnome. I added some metallic paint, some metallic parts in the inside, and I added up some paint layers. You can see that in the upper part you can see that I seam in the paint material, and that's intentional. That's because the upper part of the seam house opens up so Invader Zim can get out in his ship, a mini ship. So I added somewhere of product of the metal part collisions. Finally, I gathered all the elements into 3ds Max. I added some grass with Forest Pack, some volumetric fog, and some houses back there so it can appear in the background. And this will be the final image. Thanks for watching.